Hey guys, it's me. Just came back with another video after a month-long hiatus. Today's review will be over Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, before you guys say, wait, shouldn't you be reviewing the first Marvel movie? No, I'm reviewing the latest Marvel movie, and there's nothing you can say about it. So, shut up and let me do my review. So, how this movie review is going to work is that I'm going to be reviewing it in just my overall thoughts. And how that's going to be is kind of like a moist meter. I won't have any of the fancy editing or anything, but I'll give it like a 3 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5 or out of 5 is my total score. And now let's get on with the review. First off, I would like to talk about something that I feel like plagues all Marvel movies, and this is kind of just a nitpick of mine, and I would like it to kind of like stop after this, or maybe like go back to the writer's room with this. I wouldn't mind just a very self-contained as this movie was, I would like to see a completely isolated movie. Not of anything that we've seen so far. No ties to any other superhero or future events. Just completely isolated. And have it like spin off from there. Maybe a Big Hero 6 movie. Maybe they could give that another shot. I don't know if Disney owns the rights to that, but we'll just have to see. Now, one of the things that I really liked about the movie was the visuals. I feel like the director Sam Raimi, who directed this film, did a really good job of choreographing fights. He made them not only entertaining, but he also had this creativity to him to where like you can just see his creativity like even in his other movies like his big hitter Spider-Man and Evil Dead, there's always that sense of creativity with his work, and that is something that really shines in this. Now, I feel like all the cast members gave a stellar performance. I really liked that the new character they added, America. I find her name to be kind of silly, but whatever. It's a character name. America, I felt like her arc of her learning to believe in herself was kind of generic, but I would like to see more from this character in the future, and I'm sure we will in later movies. I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch's arc, Doctor Strange's arc in this movie, is really, really good. That being of learning to let go. He really wanted to be with the woman that he loved, but he couldn't. And since the 5 year time skip has happened, everyone's kind of moved on. And he's like, well, I want to be with you, so and so. And I really liked it that. I'm very curious to see what the next Doctor Strange movie has in store for him, because I really liked how his character arc was handled, in that he needs to love himself before he loves other people as well. That's something that I picked up personally, and I just really liked it that. I feel like all the side characters were utilized well. Um, that's mostly with most Marvel movies. I know some Marvel movies just throws aside characters, but I feel like this cast we had was pretty good. Now, if I were to put this on a like scale on what I thought about this portion of the movie cast wise, I would say it's like a 4 out of 5. It's a high score, and it definitely is really good. It could be better in a few parts, but that's mostly with the writing, and I feel like and that my most of my issues just come from America. I just wanted to see a little bit more of her. I felt like what they did with her was great, but she also kind of felt kind of generic. Kind of like, oh, I'm too scared to use my powers. If I use them, bad things happen. Ah, spooky. And that was kind of about it. And I also have another nitpick with this movie. It's pacing. it's like breakneck speed. In the first like 20 minutes, we're already in the first dimension. I feel like that was a bit too quick for my taste, and this will hinder the movie later on, but I'll just say this. I feel like them already, like, they're at the wedding, then the monster shows up, and then Doctor Strange beats up the monster. This new girl? Wow, we need to get going. So they get going. Wanda comes, Scarlet Witch, she just comes out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but like she just pops in. And then it's like, okay, I'm bad because I did something in WandaVision. Ooga booga, muhaha, evil villain time. And we're already at the temple and they're already, like, beginning to fight. And to me, like, as cool as the scene was of her, like, basically being Hangman from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, just like going through the reflections of like random things. I thought that was really cool, and I really liked that. But I felt like the first half of the movie was kind of pieced too quickly, and that's like my only nitpick. Oh, also another nitpick I had was later on in the movie we get to another point. But after they get away from Wanda, they end up in the new dimension. They learn how it works. They do a little world building, and I thought that was nice. I really like how the Marvel movies are really good with their world building. I feel like they feel like realistic worlds. I feel like the little like pizza balls thing, that was kind of funny. The guy punching himself over and over. Um, and I really liked the memory lane thing. I mean, this also kind of went by a little quick. I wouldn't mind have them going into different stores, seeing how it worked in that world, like currency. That was something I would like to know. But the beggars can't be choosers. So, I mean, I feel like this movie, in its first half, just went a little too quick. Now, I thought the set design and the characters, I thought they looked great. To be honest, it's a Marvel movie. Marvel usually never gives us stinkers unless it's Thor the Dark World. Like, it is super rare when if Marvel gives us a stinker, you feel it. You genuinely feel it. But besides that, I thought this movie, like, visual wise, was pretty good. The soundtrack was okay. It wasn't like the Batman where the soundtrack felt really purposeful and it was like really hard hitting. That will be actually a next review besides that. But to get back on topic, I feel like the soundtrack for this movie was kind of eh. There was no real like heavy hitters where I like was really getting into the scene like, oh man, this is awesome. I really liked the fight scenes in this, if I haven't said this before. I really liked the fight scenes in this movie. The fight scenes were pretty good, to be honest. Like, one of my favorite fight scenes is the musical notes scene, where they're just bouncing back and forth with musical notes. I just thought that was really creative and a really nice use of visual effects. I also really liked the introduction of the Illuminati. I'm a big Marvel Comics fan. I really love Civil War. I watch Comic Storian, so that's how I get most of my comic book information. But I really like the Marvel comics. I've read some modern issues. I thought they were pretty neat, but I really like the introduction of the Illuminati. But I felt like we also could have, like, even though we probably weren't going to see them again after that, like, we weren't going to see that version of the characters, I would still like to get to know them more. I really like what happened with the other Doctor Strange in that universe. How he kept using the MacGuffin or the Darkhold, and it just took over his mind, and he ended a universe. I really liked that. I definitely wasn't expecting that, but I really did enjoy it. I think the guy that plays Reed Richards, he doesn't scream Reed Richards. he more so feels like just a guy you would go to a football game with. To me, that's just it. I think he did a good job as Reed Richards, but overall, I just feel like we could have gotten to know these variants more. I really liked Professor Xavier in this movie. As short as we had him, it was great seeing the actor's name again. It was great seeing him play that character again, and I would love to. I hope he plays in the next MCU film if they can get him on. But overall, those are my overall thoughts. I thought the movie was about a 3 out of 5. It had some great moments, but it certainly didn't wow me. It was just like middle of the road for me, if you know what I mean. But that's all I wanted to say. See ya.